But you know, me specifically, I wasn't going to sit out. I just wasn't. But yeah, this is when I kind of knew that I was going to double major. While also watching these professional black companies perform, such as Deeply Rooted, such as Alvin Ailey, DTH. And yeah, my life has been forever changed because of it. But of course, like, it didn't feel good because it felt like I failed, and that is a fear of mine. I was able to build like different friendships in different communities. Both auditions went amazingly, and now it's time for the big announcement. So drum roll, please. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new. So in today's video, I am going to be doing a chit chat and pack with me, as you see by the title. And I am packing for something that is huge. One, I'm packing to be gone for 6 to 8 months. And this next chapter in my life is absolutely insane. And I am so excited for it, so blessed, so grateful. And I will be making an announcement on what that future will look like for me. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of go back to the past and explain what my dance journey has been and how I have gotten here and what has led up to this point in my life and in my career as it relates to dance specifically. So, yeah, and I just want to kind of take y'all along with me. And this is the start of the journey. So, let's get into this whole packing thing. So, today is actually June 18th. And I originally thought that I was going to be leaving on the 26th, but I checked my email, what was that, like Monday, and basically plans have changed and I am now leaving on the 23rd, which may not seem like that huge of a difference, but like 3 days is kind of a lot of time. So it's also kind of a dilemma because my graduation party is on the 22nd. So I'm leaving literally the day right after. Therefore, I need to just make sure everything is kind of like packed and ready to go. Another dilemma is I'm not supposed to know this, so if you're watching this, I'm so sorry that it was spoiled. But I am receiving a gift, and that gift is more luggage. And that is exactly what I need. I need a second, like, large suitcase, and apparently I'm getting like a set. So I'm kind of holding off on packing everything. But today, I at least want to get things kind of in order in terms of like what I am going to be taking. So my mom and I yesterday, we went and did a bunch of shopping. I got a lot of toiletries, like hair products, makeup things, just a bunch of stuff that I know for a fact that I will need. And yeah, I just went ahead and like bought those things in bulk, which I will do a haul very soon. But yeah, so I'm not really gonna organize anything into like my suitcases and whatnot. I'm just gonna, I guess, pull things out and separate them and categorize them into how I will end up packing them. I don't know, but I just need to get a head start on it because, again, today is already Wednesday. My party is on Sunday, and then I leave Monday. So I really have zero time. But let's get into this haul real quick. This is a lot of the stuff that I have gotten. This is all of the stuff that I have gotten when we went shopping, mainly between yesterday and Monday. It may not seem like a lot, but it is a lot. And I also did already have some things. And based off of what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to Florida for 6 weeks first and then traveling again. So I plan on getting other things while I am also in Florida. But whatever I could get while I'm at home, I'd rather get, just because I don't know what like the difference in cost will be. So to be safe, I just got a lot of the things here in Michigan rather than getting it in Florida because I feel like it will be more expensive. But okay, for real this time, let's get into the haul. Starting out from Ulta, I went and picked up a new foundation just because the one that I currently use is getting pretty low. So this is the Maybelline New York Fit Me, and I get shade 356, which is called Warm Coconut Cocoa Shawd. And then from Five Below, which I'm surprised they even had it, I got my concealer, which is the LA Girl Pro. I am obsessed with this concealer, specifically because like of the application, if I'm being honest. But that's all I got from Ulta and Five Below, I believe. Moving on, a lot of the essential items that I got are from Walmart. So to start out, I got Dove soap and I also got Dove body wash because I use both in the shower. I also went ahead and got this gigantic Vaseline because this is multi-purposeful and yeah, it's essential for me and just skincare overall. I also went ahead and got 2 huge bottles of Nivea. If you know me, then you know that Nivea is my favorite lotion to use. I also got 4 things of Nair. Because if you know me, you know that I do not enjoy shaving. So if I can use Nair, just rub it on, rub it off. Boom, easy. I also went ahead and got some shaving cream because I do usually go ahead and touch up after using Nair. And I also use a razor under my arms and other parts of my body. Next, I also got this facial cleanser. It's a full size and then the travel size, which I think is more than enough because I usually don't use too much facial cleanser. And then I also went ahead and got makeup wipes because where I'm going, I will be performing a lot. So yeah, I got the double pack. I believe there is 50 in here. I also went ahead and got gum, just because, it's okay for your breath to smell good, And to go off of that, I also got some floss picks. This is a 150 pack. I got some Listerine. This is the huge one. It's 1 liter. And then I also went ahead and got this 3-pack of toothpaste. Moving on, I got some women's multivitamins because I feel like that is very essential for what I'm going to be doing. And it gives me health benefits such as supporting energy metabolism as well as bone and immune health. Next, I also got Offspring just because where I'm going, I have no clue how the bugs are going to be and I don't want them on me, so get off. I also went ahead and got alcohol. Again, this is essential. And I actually use this as a toner, so this can be used for multiple different things. I went ahead and got aloe gel. I use this a part of my skincare routine as well. I got sunscreen. This is a 2-pack. It is SPF 50. Quite essential, especially in the Florida sun. I also went ahead and got a lot of feminine products. This is 120 liners. And then I got a 18-pack of just regular because I really only use regular like once it's at the end of my cycle. And then I got 3 packs of 28. Right. 28 super. 1, 2, and then this is the third one. Super Tampax. Because, Mother Nature has its time. And then I also went ahead and got deodorant. I got 2 of the spray deodorant and 2 of the just roll-on deodorant. And got 2 loofahs. I'll probably end up getting more because I do switch these out. And then last but not least, my mom gave me this toner and this moisturizer from e.l.f. I may or may not need to get another moisturizer because 6 to 8 months is a long time, so I need to make sure this is going to be enough. And yeah, that's pretty much everything that I got from Walmart. Moving on to the beauty supply. From the beauty supply, I got these like thick rubber bands, mainly for when I do my slick backs. Yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory. I also went ahead and got this smoothie cream, a shampoo, and I also got a leave-in conditioner from As I Am. And now that I'm looking at it, I feel like I'm going to need to get more products. But again, I can get things in Florida, so it's fine. I also went ahead and got these nails, and it also comes with the glue because I do have a shellac or gel like nail kit. So I'll definitely be using this to keep my nails looking, decent while I am away. I also got these clips just for my hair. What exactly will I do with them? I have no clue, but I feel like that would be important to have. I got more ponytail holders. These are long. or I guess not long, but they're a little bit thicker. And there's 16 in here, and then there's 8 in these. These are like regular like size, but a little thicker than the other ones. I also went ahead and got gel. I got 2 different ones, which I really had no reason to get like this bottle one and this jug one. I feel like I should have just gotten 2 of these. But again, I can get stuff in Florida. So I got both of these extreme gels. Tell me if you like the blue one better or the regular like translucent one. I've never tried the blue one. I don't know why I thought this was the time to try it, but whatever. I also went ahead and got these clips. This is for when I'm doing like a wash and go and I just want to part my sections off. Okay. I also went ahead and got these side combs. If I'm being honest, my mom convinced me to get them. I don't think I'm going to use them, but I'm going to take them because who knows? I also went ahead and got this rat tooth comb because I do have combs, but they aren't rat tail. So I just wanted to have one. And then I also went ahead and got these thick headbands because I have been seeing them on TikTok, if I'm being honest, and I feel like they would be cute with my wash and go. That is everything that I have so far. Let's do an overview. I'm finally going to start kind of picking out clothes that I am going to take. But as I do that, I want to get into the topic of what today's video is supposed to be, which is my dance journey. From the age of 5 years old is when I started dancing. And so my mom is actually the one who got me into dance. One day she came into the office of my school, my elementary school, Bates Academy, and she saw a flyer for a dance camp, like summer dance camp at this particular studio. And my mom actually grew up dancing as well, so she has always been like interested in the art form anyway. So yeah, she saw this flyer for a dance camp, and my parents were always big on my brother and I being active, especially during the summer, and just being involved in different things, just to keep us occupied or whatever the case may be. So she enrolled me in this summer camp. Mind you, I had no dance training prior to attending this studio. And I think during my time at summer camp, I know for a fact I took ballet and jazz. Those are the only styles I particularly remember taking. There could have been more. But I guess sometime into the camp, the company manager and the studio owner actually asked my mom if it would be okay for me to audition for a company. Again, having no dance experience prior to this camp. So my mom said yes. I auditioned. I made company. Again, this is all while I was like 5, turning 6 years old. And so from then on, I have been at the studio, and the studio's name is Lachelle's School of Dance. So yeah, I have been at that studio literally from the age of 5 all the way until my senior year of high school. So when I was about 17 years old is when I left. And so during my time at Lachelle's, we were very big on, I guess you could call me a comp kid. Like we did compete, not like dance moms compete where we would go to competitions every weekend, but definitely every once in a while we would compete. Of course, we took our regular classes, and I'm forever grateful to the fact that I went to a predominantly Black studio, especially because I was able to learn the importance of Black dance, which is the history of dance. Because if we're being real, yeah, Black dance, or the African diaspora, if you will, is the root of most dance styles that we know and love today. So I am very privileged at the fact that I went to a Black studio. I was able to learn my history in dance and just in civil rights as it may be, because we would, put on Black history shows, we would go to different events. And yeah, my dance teachers were just very big on educating us and just doing the work as just pioneers within the Black dance community. And with that being said, although we were comp kids, we were also raised, or I guess trained, to be very versatile in all the different dance styles that we trained in, which was ballet, tap, jazz, African, Lindy, just all of the things. Like, we were very versatile, and we even acro, which I personally did not enjoy, but we definitely participated in acrobatics. And so, yeah, we were just able to build that strong foundation in various areas of dance. From a young age, I knew that dance was exactly what I wanted to do as a career. Like, even at the age of 8 years old, I was speaking that I'd be on Broadway, which I still believe and I still want that. That's definitely a bucket list thing. But yeah, from a young age, I knew that dance was exactly what I wanted to do. But at that time, I didn't really know like the different routes that could be taken, or like, I guess, the endless like possibilities um within having a career in dance. And so fast forward, I'm still at the studio. It is maybe like, I don't honestly, I don't know how old I was, but it is around recital time, and we are in our tech rehearsal and dress rehearsal week, maybe like a night or two before recital is actually going to be happening. And if you're a performer, a dancer, whatever, like, for some reason, theaters and auditoriums are usually freezing cold, which is the complete opposite of what we need. Again, I was young. I didn't warm up correctly. And so I went on stage to run a dance. Again, this is tech rehearsal, so like everything is pretty much full out. And I went down for a planche and pulled my hamstring. And I could like feel it and hear it snap. My teacher knew that something was up. Like, it was kind of bad. And so I sat out for the rest of rehearsal. Like, for the rest of the night, I didn't do any more of my dances. Mind you, I was in like 10 plus dances this year. I didn't do any more of the dances that night. Like, I just sat, I chilled, and yeah, I could literally barely walk. So next day, I believe, was recital, or it was maybe like a day or two in between. Either way, I had very little like rest time. But me specifically, I wasn't going to sit out. I just wasn't. So I performed in pain with an extremely pulled hamstring, which led me to going to physical therapy, which I didn't even know, like, pulling your hamstring could be that like strenuous and that serious, that could lead you to going into PT. But I guess when you're doing 10 plus dances times two, because I'm pretty sure we did like two shows. I don't know if it was in the same day or like different days. Either way, I did it twice. So yeah, I just didn't know that like pulling a hamstring could be that like serious of an injury. Long story short, went to PT, and little did I know it was like a blessing in disguise, because this is when I found my love for, my passion for, my enjoyment for PT, exercise science, kinesiology, sports medicine, whatever you want to say. This is exactly when I was like, okay, like, this is kind of interesting, especially because there's not a lot of people who like cater to dancers. And that's when I like decided, okay, maybe I am interested in also studying this alongside dance. And from then on, I kind of knew like college was never like heavily talked about like in my house, but like I had always known that I wanted to go 100%. Also, I am a first gen, so it was kind of like a given for me to just go. But at that time, like, I'm like, ugh. I knew dance was something that I could major in, but I didn't know like how significant it would be in terms of like helping me into jump starting my career. But yeah, this is when I kind of knew that I was going to double major in both dance and exercise science. Okay, so fast forward, I knew that I wanted to go to a high school that had dance, simply because I didn't want to become complacent and just too comfortable at my studio. And also, like, I'm entering high school, I need to continue to be pushed as a dancer. Not saying that my studio couldn't teach me anymore, but it was just that time to like branch out. And as a dancer, like, I never want to stop learning. I never want to stop improving. So I knew for a fact that I wanted to go to a high school that had a dance program. And I also knew that I was remaining in the DPS school district. So that left like my only options in terms of like high school to be Cass, Renaissance, King, and DSA. And I knew that I didn't want to go to a performing arts school. So that kind of took DSA off the list just because I wanted to have like the normal high school experience with being able to go to different games and homecoming and prom and just things like that. DSA I know had like homecoming and like prom, but I know they didn't have sports teams or whatever. So yeah, that kind of like took that off my list. King was let's just say it wasn't for me. Okay. King was already just not really on my radar. Sorry if you went to King. So that left Cass and Renaissance. So my dad actually went to Renaissance. So automatically I'm like interested because, you know, it's my dad. And I also knew Miss Gina Ellis, who was the director at the time. Because she was also my dance teacher's teacher and she taught at my studio a couple of times. And yeah, I just loved and respected Miss Ellis heavily, still do. And so that was definitely something that was on my radar, but I also had to consider like the academic aspect of it. And I went to orientation, or I guess like a tour or something of Renaissance. And I just wasn't feeling it. Like it just wasn't really speaking to me in the way that I wanted it to. And my brother at the time was at Cass. And so I visited Cass and their workshop actually performed. And I was sold after that. It was just like automatically like, yeah, this is the school for me. So I auditioned for Cass, made workshop, and I also knew that I would be able to fulfill any of like the requirements in terms of academics as it related to me also wanting to major in exercise science because again, that was always in the back of my mind. So yeah, I ended up attending and graduating from Cass Technical High School. For me, high school is exactly where I needed to be in order to learn myself and discover who I was as a person, yes, but more so as a dancer in particular, just because I was given the room to do so. And at this time, I was still like unsure of what dance could look like for me beyond competing, because like I had never been completely like, I guess, shown that, or I also can take accountability and say that I didn't necessarily explore that to the fullest ability that I could have before getting to high school. And so yeah, for me it was kind of just like still honing on to that aspect of like discovery. And so in high school, dance workshop, which is the ensemble team company, whatever you want to call it, that I was a part of, and that was like the most advanced company at the school. We traveled, performed publicly, all of the things. So dance workshop in particular, we actually went to a conference called IABD, and it stands for International Association of Blacks in Dance. And attending that conference was a game changer for me. Completely changed my perspective on dance and just broadened my horizon quite literally. This conference was the place that I had gotten pretty much all the answers that I needed to get. Like, this conference is still playing a role in my life today, and we will get into more of that later. But yeah, this conference just gave me the confirmation that I needed in terms of like what dance could truly look like for me. So at this conference, you're given the opportunity, the privilege, to take classes from different pioneers in dance, while also watching these professional Black companies perform, such as Deeply Rooted, such as Alvin Ailey, DTH, Dallas Black, Philadanko. There's just so many companies that performed. And it was just like you were left in awe every single time, while also being able to watch your peers who are on their legs, who are dancing down. So it was a push, because workshop will also perform. So it was just the push that we needed, like the motivation that we needed. And it was the best, 4 or 5 days of my life. Each time I've gone like 6 times. I've gone to Dallas, Dayton, Denver, LA, Philadelphia, and Memphis. So yes, I've gone to the conference literally 6 times, and I'm left like feeling empowered and in awe every single time. But at this conference, there's also the opportunity to audition. There's the multi-company audition. There's the Black women in ballet, Black men in ballet. There's so many different representatives from these professional companies and schools that are here to literally see you and just give you an opportunity as a high schooler and as a middle schooler. You know what I mean? So it's like an undefeatable experience. And because of IABD, I was given the opportunity to attend DTH on a full scholarship, Joffrey's intensive on a full scholarship, Ailey's intensive on a full scholarship, and yeah, my life has been forever changed because of it. Because of CAS and because of IABD, this is where my love for concert dance and just company dance had grown, because it again showed me what dance could be beyond competing. And this was me seeing professional dancers who made me feel something and who made me want to be better as a performer, as an artist, as a dancer. And yeah, this is where I literally made my mind up, like, okay, my mind was made up in terms of me wanting to dance professionally, but it's like, oh yeah, like this is complete confirmation. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. In terms of me wanting to dance, because again, I can see like the light at the end of the tunnel. I can see that there is more to dance. So fast forward to summer before senior year. And at this point, I am attending Debbie Allen Summer Intensive. And it was just an amazing experience overall. And just being able to have a conversation with her, being able to learn from her, being able to perform in front of her was an absolute privilege, because she is a pioneer. She's a legend, like in the dance world, like quite literally. And so, yeah, after our performance or whatever, her and I were having a conversation. And she was just asking me, like, what are my next steps? Like, what do I want to do? You know, the typical, like, questions that you receive as a senior in high school, or soon to be senior in high school. And so honestly, I'm like, obviously I want to go to school and just, you know, pursue dance and major in dance and all of these things. So she was telling me to look at Fordham University, which was way too expensive. Also, I don't think I was ready to live in New York at the time, but soon, hopefully. Anyway, so yeah, Fordham, I'm like, I don't know about that. But then she also mentioned Temple University, and Miss Ellis had also mentioned Temple University in their dance program. And they were also at IEBD, I think the year before. And I had talked to one of the people that was like recruiting for Temple or whatever. I never really got to like tour the school before committing, but I did end up like committing to go to Temple. Like I auditioned, I got accepted into the actual school, therefore I was also accepted into the dance program. And so yeah, I was very excited. This was a new journey. I was going out of state for school. Like I had everything and more to look forward to. People have absolutely no clue that I attended Temple University, but I literally only attended for one semester. Like, yeah, the truth of the matter is I only attended for one semester. I personally did not enjoy the department. Now, here's the thing. The people that I met there, absolutely loved them down. Like, I still talk to a couple of them, like, to this day. Like, the people that I met, the friends that I made, also being in Philly and just being in that city, being in that atmosphere was an absolute blessing. The connections and relationships that Temple has with Philadelphia in particular, and like the professional like world, I guess you could say, at that time specifically, I don't know what's going on now, but it was nice because we were able to take class from like different company members at Philadelphia, and like they would come to us, we could go to them, either way. But yeah, just being in Philly, like everything was very accessible in terms of like dance. We weren't super far from New York. I know if I stayed there, I probably would have been going back and forth between New York and Philly, like on the weekend or something. I don't know. But either way, I just didn't really enjoy the dance program. Like, if I'm being 100% honest with y'all, I feel like the dance program, to me, in my eyes, it catered to people who wanted to go into choreography, and that just wasn't me. Definitely wasn't me as a freshman in college, but it still isn't me like post grad. Like I don't want to choreograph like only professionally. So yeah, it truly just wasn't for me, and also it was too expensive. And the thing is, I was on a full scholarship for dance, but housing was not included. Therefore, it made like the cost, a lot more expensive than I would have hoped for it to be. And so, because of these things, I ended up leaving Temple, which this was like the beginning of 2020, like literally right before COVID hit. So I would have been having to come home anyway. But yeah, so I ended up leaving Temple. Not gonna lie, I was I don't want to go as far as saying depressed, but I was very sad, and I was also slightly embarrassed of like having to leave this school that I had like hyped up. People were so excited for me. Like, yeah, it was just like, I don't know. I don't know. I was embarrassed. I don't know if it was ego. I don't know if it was pride. But of course, like it didn't feel good because it felt like I failed. And that is a fear of mine, is like being a failure. But yeah, so I came back home and I had a balance on my account at Temple of like 12K. And so I still wanted to get my degree, of course. Therefore, I wasn't going to give up. But in order to transfer from Temple to another school, I had to pay the balance off because I needed my transcript. And with the balance on my account, they were withholding the transcript from me. So I ended up getting a job at Starbucks, actually. I worked at Starbucks for like 2+ years or whatever, but I was able to pay off my balance in less than a year, which is by the absolute grace of God. Basically, long story short, I took like a year and one semester off of school to work and to pay off the balance. And once the balance was paid, I instantly started applying to other schools, which I only applied to 2 schools. Like I was putting my eggs in all of their baskets because I knew for a fact like I wasn't making a mistake again in terms of like picking a school, not liking it, and then having to go through the whole process of transferring again or just completely giving up on my dream of school. I wasn't going through that again. So I applied to Howard University and Western Michigan University. Got accepted into both schools, got accepted into both programs. They both gave me scholarships, but Western, of course, gave me more. And also, the tuition was cheaper anyway because I was an in state student rather than out of state student. Also, it is a PWI, and if we're being real, PWIs get way more funding than HBCUs do. So, of course, they have more money to give. Therefore, I ended up going with my decision of choosing Western Michigan University as my school, as my university that I'd be transferring to. So I get to Western, and instantly I experience culture shock. Because I had grown up, obviously, with a black family. I had gone to a predominantly black studio. I had went to DPS schools, aka Detroit Public Schools, my entire life. So of course, like going to a PWI, I expected to not necessarily a bunch of people who looked like me, but like no word of a lie, I walked into my ballet class on the first day of class, and I was the only black person there. And if I'm not mistaken, I was the only POC, like person of color, period. Like there was no one else in sight. And so automatically, like, guard is up. I'm a little taken aback because it's like, I've never experienced this before. Like, this is definitely new. And up until this point, like, every intention that I had done, there were white people in the room, but obviously, like, there's more POCs and black people over white people. And so I always had, like, that comfortability when I looked to my left and to my right. There were people who looked like me, and who I could, like, relate to in a cultural sense. But walking into my ballet class at Western, it was not that at all. Shortly after like my first day and the trauma of that, I was able to build like different friendships in different communities. One of those communities being Ebony Vision. The president actually invited me to like the audition at the time. I went to the audition, made it into the RSO, and obviously I've been there since that day. It was also a class that I had to take called First Year Performance. Whether you were a freshman or a transfer student, we were required to take this class. And that also helped me to build a community as well and just get familiar with the people who were in my graduating class, which was nice. So of course started to get friendships and just connect with people from there. So it was nice that I was building like all of these different friendships and things, but at the same time, if I am being 100% honest, Western's department can be a little, how do you say, cliquey. And I mean that in a sense of like people won't necessarily talk to you um if they don't view you as like a valuable person in their lives, aka a good dancer. And so people obviously talk to me and things of that nature, but it wasn't until we had gala auditions, which occur in the beginning of the year, maybe like 2, 3, maybe 4, I don't know, weeks into the semester. We had these auditions. Obviously, the cast list and everything come out. And apparently, it's rare for freshmen specifically to be in 3 dances their freshman year for gala. And that's like the cap. The most dances that you can be in for gala are 3. And so, yeah, it's pretty rare for freshmen to fulfill that cap and be in 3 dances. But lo and behold, I was in the 3 dances. So at this point, like, obviously, I'm gaining people's respect and I'm getting on people's radar and just receiving, like, I guess, recognition for being, in their eyes, a good dancer. Which I know I am, but I'm saying in their eyes because, good is subjective. So because I was on like people's radar and everything, I started to like build a little bit more of a community and I felt more comfortable like with being myself and being bold in my dancing specifically. And because of this, like I feel like a lot of doors open, and especially with Western's department, they do a great job of bringing in guests, and that in my opinion is the greatest way to open up different opportunities within the dance world because you have those professional connections. And so yeah, I started to have the privilege of working with like different guest artists such as Jay Manju, such as Kim Cooper, such as Krista Smutek, such as Turk Lewis, Mike Esperanza, Kia Smith, so many real world professionals. And um yeah, so I feel like Western was definitely a jump start in allowing me to curate more connections, just a little bit more than I had done in my middle, elementary, and high school years. Okay, I'm taking a quick break to update y'all on literally everything that I have done so far, which is literally still just clothes. I've gone through and selected I'm still in the process of selecting, but for the most part, I've selected the clothes that I plan on taking with me. And this is what my bed is looking like right now. I'm embarrassed. So fast forward to my sophomore year at Western. This is kind of when like experiences and opportunities started to like pick up a little bit more. So I was going to an audition for Kia Smith because she is the artistic director and founder of South Chicago Dance Theater. And that's crazy because I'm talking about it and here's the vest for it. But yeah, so I went to the audition because she was picking 4 students to perform like with her company. Like obviously I wouldn't pass up on that opportunity. And I ended up receiving the opportunity. Me and 3 other dancers who were at Western at the time went to Chicago, performed with her company, had an absolute amazing time. At that same audition, obviously I was auditioning for WDP, which was not my intention. I was asked by one of my professors to audition, which I am thankful that she asked me to, and I'm grateful that I was like open to doing so. And so, yeah, I auditioned for WDP that year. I also got the opportunity to perform with Kia's company that year. And so, again, that was like when a lot of things started to like fall into place for me, and like my perspective started to get, a little bit more clear and understanding again that concert dance was for me. And that's what we did pretty much all throughout my college career, was concert dance. So that's kind of like all that I've known for the past, I could say 4 years, but I could also say like 8 years because of high school as well. But yeah, it was nice. It was fun. And so now it is my junior year, I think. No, it's summer of me going into my senior year. And no, that's a lie. It's my junior year. And I get a text from one of my dance teachers basically asking if anybody was available to attend IABD. Mind you, I am in college. These are high school students, maybe middle school students who I will be performing with. But I'm like, this is an absolute amazing opportunity for me to go to IABD. It was going to be completely funded. And so, I said yes. Why would I pass it up? We ended up performing a tap number that I was a part of. I was in the original cast alongside 3 other dancers who I like grew up with, and they did a restaging and wanted to perform it at IBD. Specifically, I think it was a smart choice because it was tap, and tap is the definition of black dance, if you will. I'm just playing, but no, it is definitely a staple in black dance. And so, yeah, I took the opportunity. I went to IABD, not necessarily looking to get anything out of it, but having the privilege to attend this amazing conference again was enough. Being able to take class, being able to see performances, like that's really all I needed. But long story short, I ended up going to the multi-company audition as well as the multi-summer intensive audition, because again, I was a junior, so still had another summer to like go to intensives and things of that nature. So both auditions went amazingly. I was accepted to be a part of like multiple companies' second company, if that makes sense. I think I had like 3 or 4 different offers, and then I also had a main company offer, which I'm not going to say the names for these companies because respect. But yeah, I had a couple of offers for like actual companies, but again, I'm a junior. I'm like, I'm not about to leave school to like jump into this, career, because I'm already doing something that is extremely important to me. So, I respectfully had to, decline, or I guess like postpone, whatever the case may be. So now it's up to like the summer intensive results. And on the last day of the conference, there's a banquet, and this is where like the summer intensive results are announced. And I really don't remember all of the summer intensive acceptances and scholarships that I received, but this particular summer, I know for a fact I got Joffrey because I attended it. I also received a job, which was with Norwegian Cruise Line. And obviously, it was a paid opportunity. And I was going to be in Florida for 6 weeks as their rehearsal swing. And so, obviously, I accepted both. And it's crazy because these were the only ones that added up and like worked out in terms of dates. I was in New York for 3 weeks for Joffrey. And then I had like a week or 2 in between before leaving to go to Florida, which that summer was actually very busy for me because I performed with Body Rhythm and Dance, which is a company located in Detroit. So that was the second company that I had ever performed with. And then I left literally the day after performing with them for Joffrey in New York. And then 2 weeks later, I was in Florida. So that summer was top tier. I was booked and busy, and I absolutely loved it. So, yeah, did all of that. that summer. And speaking on the Norwegian Cruise Line opportunity, for one, didn't even know that was a thing. One, I didn't know that they were at IBD. Two, didn't ever look at cruise ship as, let's just say cruise ship was just never like on my radar. The first time I heard about it was at Western, because a lot of the girlies would be like, oh, like I want to do cruise as a profession, yada, yada, yada. But it was like going in one ear, out the other, because I was so set on concert dance, obviously. And so, yeah, cruise ship was just never on my radar. But when I went to Florida for these 6 weeks, worked with these professionals, met these amazing people from literally everywhere, from Brazil, from the Bahamas, from the Philippines, from Australia. Literally met so many amazing people. And it kind of changed my perspective on cruise. And I'm like, okay, like this is kind of cool. Like this could definitely open up doors. And also, like, the pay is really good. And it comes with benefits, and also the fact that you don't have to pay for your travel, you don't have to pay for your stay. Like, it is the total package. And so I was absolutely grateful for the experience. Walked away, again, not expecting anything from it. So at this point, which is pretty much where we are now, it was my senior year at Western, my last year at Western. I'm auditioning. I'm getting the question of, oh, what's next? Yada, yada, yada. My answer is, I don't know. We're just playing the waiting game. In the beginning of the year, like first semester, obviously there weren't really many auditions happening, because audition season is usually like January through, most companies, like June, July. But yeah, so it wasn't until January of 2025, this year, that I was like starting to send in, my different submissions for all these companies and things of that nature. But every company that I submitted to, it's so crazy, because God really does work in mysterious ways. There was always a time conflict. Like I remember ACDA, I think there was like 2 or 3 auditions that I got invited to but couldn't go to because I had already committed to ACDA. And yeah, there was just a lot going on. Like I didn't attend not one in-person audition, like to this day, for a company. And so yeah, I was kind of, if I'm being honest, I was kind of getting discouraged, because I'm like, well, dang, like obviously it's not meant to be, because nothing is, I don't want to say falling into my lap, but like nothing is going my way. Nothing is going the way that I need it to go. Like I'm trying to be in a company, I'm trying to be booked, I'm trying to be busy, I'm trying to be doing something, even if it's not company work. Like I'm trying to be doing something. I'm trying to have a job post grad. Like I don't want to be that struggling artist. And so, yeah, in that sense, it was very discouraging. And for me, it was even more frustrating, specifically because I would send in a submission to be invited to an audition. And I would get invited. Like every submission, not to be like bragging or anything, but every submission that I sent in, I got invited by that company to attend their in-person audition. But there was always a time conflict. So that was the frustrating part about the whole process of like auditioning, especially because like I'd take the time to record these auditions. Like when I say time, I mean like legit hours, like legit like a whole day to like record and then edit. Like it took time. So to go through all of that just to not even be able to make the audition was so frustrating and so disappointing and so discouraging. But maybe like a couple of weeks or so after being discouraged, I received an email, and now it's time for the big announcement. So drum roll, please. I got an email from Norwegian Cruise Line, which was the company that I worked with literally the summer before. Not even like a full summer, not even a full year had gone by. And I got an email, and they offered me a contract for 6 to 8 months for me to travel. First to Florida for 6 weeks to learn 2 shows, and then I will be leaving to travel to Japan, Korea, and Australia. And I'm so excited. And that is exactly what your girl is packing for at this moment in time right now. So, yeah, that's really the story and like the journey that I have had up until this point. And I just kind of wanted to explain that because I, one, said that I was going to be giving more dance content. And also, it was just very important for me to explain my journey that led up into this point, just to kind of open up other people's eyes and ears for like the endless opportunities. Because again, as I said, like cruise ship had never necessarily been on my radar, but because of Western and because of IABD, like this is now my reality. Like the very thing that you have no clue is going to happen, like that is always going to be like your biggest blessing. And yeah, God is just so good. Like God is just so good. And it's crazy. Like he just blows my mind every single time. But yeah, and it's crazy also because I was so set on wanting to do concert work, wanting to be in a company, and just having the privilege to branch out and do more commercial things and build my resume this way, while also still being able to be a modern and contemporary and ballet girly and get on my leg. What more could I want? You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I kind of just wanted to get more into like, again, what my journey has been thus far. And if you have like any questions, just ask away and I will try to answer them in the best way that I possibly could. But yeah, I hope that I am able to take y'all along this journey with me for sure and keep y'all updated on all the amazing traveling that I am going to be doing. And yeah, I'm just excited. I'm just very excited. I'm a little stressed right now because as y'all know, I have lost 3 days of prep. But yeah, I am just very, 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 very excited to, branch off and enter into this new journey of my life and of my career. So yeah, I'm going to continue to pack. And I truly, 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 truly hope you all enjoyed this video, especially if you made it to the end. Make sure you like this video, comment if you like, and continue to subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.